Hello, I'm Jamie Cornelson, and I'm going to share with you my PowerPoint presentation for EDL 851 Module 8, the legal aspects of teacher evaluation. So the first thing I want to do is just summarize the articles that we were presented for this assignment. The first one I reviewed was the Every Student Succeeds Act. And basically, what that did was it just removed the Secretary of Education from determining any aspect of a state's educational system, including the teacher evaluation system or defining teacher effectiveness. And what this did was that it allowed the states to develop their own goals and to look at a variety of factors to gauge school performance, not just test scores. In addition, it allowed the states to develop support systems that include multiple measures of educator performance, such as evaluation tools. These can include rubrics. It also stressed that it should include training and auditing for reliability. In addition, they will develop and provide training to school leaders on how to accurately differentiate performance, including useful feedback and using evaluation results to drive professional development. And the third part of the important parts that I found in this article were creating a system for auditing the quality of evaluation and making sure that that system is in place. All right, the next article that I reviewed was about teacher evaluation and just the overview. So they defined teacher evaluation as the formal process a school uses to review and rate teachers' performance and effectiveness in the classroom. Findings are used to provide feedback to teachers and guide their professional development. This is generally operated at the district level, and the requirements vary widely, and teacher evaluation has undergone a significant change in recent years, and it's really become quite a hot topic in education. So the question was posed, why the change to teacher evaluations? There was an analysis done of student test data, and that showed that some teachers helped their students learn consistently more than other teachers. This brought attention to the evaluation system and determined they did not distinguish between skilled and low-performing teachers. The race to the top competition began, and this offered grants to states that agreed to make policy changes. And this change had to include to develop and implement new teacher evaluation systems that included at least 3 levels of performance, and it also took student achievement into account. So they asked the question, has it worked? And it was just stated that at this time, it is unclear as to whether the new systems put into place have improved teacher performance. The systems continue to be refined and tested, making it likely that teacher evaluations will continue to remain a central topic in K-12 education. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about what my district does. I thought I would start with the process and just kind of share the beliefs about the evaluation process. The 5 beliefs are: number 1, that it is a continuous formative process. Number 2, administrators and educators work collaboratively together to meet common goals. Number 3, the goals should drive individual professional growth and student learning. Number 4, educators continuously improve their instructional practices by engaging in professional growth activities. And number 5, that educators and administrators share information regarding instruction and student achievement through regular feedback opportunities based on multiple classroom opportunities. So I'm going to be kind of sharing the formal process, but it's important to keep in mind after reviewing these belief statements about evaluation that it also includes that informal piece, and it's the continuous sharing of information between the administrator and the educator, not just happening during this formal observation. So the sequence is the planning for pre-observation conference, and the administrator needs to give the classroom teacher at least 3 days contract days before they have their pre-observation conference. And then they will have their classroom pre-observation conference. In my case, this was usually done via email. We would set up a time. It was the first visit was always announced, and I would share a lesson plan for what the teacher would be observing. And so we would have that conference, and then the classroom observation would occur where the administrator would come in for 30 to 45 minutes and record everything that they observe in the classroom during that time, and then we would have a post-observation conference. At the end of that conference, the educator will be notified of unsatisfactory performance on the tool, and it's just called the educator feedback tool. If this event, if this were to occur, then an individual growth plan will be implemented where areas of concerns are noted on the evaluation form. So it might be in classroom management or delivery of the lesson that, you need to set a goal for. This plan will include goals and strategies and assessment methods, and it's a given time frame. So in the next 45 days, these things will happen. And this is all dialogue that's happening between the administrator and the educator. So no one should be in the dark necessarily about, well, I didn't know that I wasn't doing a good job in this, because it's right there on the form, and at the post-observation conference they go through that information together. If the educator did not make sufficient progress on the individual growth plan, then they will go to a level 1 improvement plan, and this gives the educator 45 days or more, and it's determined by the evaluator. Again, they will set some goals, find some new strategies that they could use, and just find a way to try to work together to solve any problem. And then if the educator continues to fail to make improvement on the above plan, they can move to a level 2 plan, which is a minimum of 20 contract days. And if expectations are not met at that time, then the educator faces possible non-renewal or termination. So this is a little bit about when the evaluations occur. For first and second year teachers, you have the educator feedback tool completed twice within a year. Third and fourth year teachers, you get one tool completed by February 15th. And fifth year teachers and beyond have one educator feedback tool, again completed by February 15th, and it's on a 3-year rotating basis. I just made a note here that communication between the evaluator and the educator is open throughout the entire process. If a teacher feels they have an inaccurate evaluation, then they need to openly discuss this with the evaluator and make plans accordingly. And through the use of the plans, they can work to meet the goals in the growth plan. So that's kind of how it's done in our district. This next slide is about a case in which the Houston Federation of Teachers were suing the Houston Independent School District. And this was based on them arguing that the explanation of enough student growth under the district's evaluation system was too vague, and their method of evaluation was unclear, and that certain groups of teachers, specifically those who teach English language learners, are at risk for lower scores. The result in the case, it's still in progress. The trial was set to begin in June of 2016, and I researched it, and it appeared that there has still been no settlement in the trial. In June of 16, the school board did vote to break the contract with the institute. It was the SAS Institute that it calculated the EVAAS, and a more effective system for evaluating teacher effectiveness needed to be adopted. So they came to agreement that, you know, the tool that they were using to evaluate the teacher's effectiveness was not a good tool. But as far as anything I could find, it looks like the lawsuit is still indeterminate at this time. So in reflection, in the future, as a school leader, I would really just do these things. I want to work closely with the leadership in my district and just be aware of policies and procedures concerning teacher evaluation and take any advice or any suggestions. Really follow the process that they have lined out because, you know, obviously it probably works for them. I want to educate my staff on the teacher evaluation process in the district and have open lines of communication and dialogue with them about the policies and procedures concerning evaluation so that it's not a scary thing or something they're unsure of, that really they understand the whole process, and I think that would just make things go more smoothly. I'd like to establish a strong rapport with staff so that during evaluations I can have open and honest communication with them regarding their evaluation. So sometimes it's hard to say things if you don't have that rapport. So just really establishing that with my teachers and then having that mutual respect between us, I think would be really helpful. And then finally, just continuing to educate myself about up and coming research and findings concerning the evaluation process, since it is and probably will continue to be a hot topic in education. Just being aware of that and knowing more about it. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you. Have a great day.